Hello, everyone. Welcome to the regular board meeting of the Santa Clara Unified School District Board of Trustees. Today is March 26th, and we are calling the meeting to order at 5:06. We will do roll call. Trustee Canova is absent. Trustee Fairchild? Is Trustee Fairchild on?
Here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I'm here. Thanks.
I'm here. Trustee Rotterman?
Here too.
Trustee Ryan is absent. Trustee Watanabe? Here. And I am here.
I have a quorum because it's full.
May I please have the introduction of our interpreter?
Muy buenas noches, mi nombre es Catherine Hertel, mi compañera Angélica Benítez y yo vamos a ser las intérpretes en español de esta noche. Bienvenidos a la reunión de la mesa directiva del Distrito Escolar Unificado de Santa Clara. Esta reunión está siendo transmitida en el canal en español de Zoom. Para escuchar esta sesión en español, oprime el botón que dice Interpretación en su pantalla y seleccione el lenguaje de español. En este menú también puede seleccionar la opción de silenciar el audio original en inglés. Gracias.
Thank you. We'll now have the pledge led by Trustee Muirhead.
Allegiance to the States of America, and to the republic which stands, one nation, indivisible.
Okay. The mission of Santa Clara Unified School District is to provide equitable, engaging, and innovative educational experiences so that each student thrives in a global society. The vision of Santa Clara Unified is that graduates are resilient, future-ready, lifelong learners who think critically, solve problems collaboratively, and are prepared to thrive in a global society. Santa Clara Unified School District acknowledges that our schools are on the traditional lands of the Tamian Nation, the Aboriginal American Indian tribe of Santa Clara Valley. We pay respect and thanks to their people, both past and present. May I please get a motion to accept the agenda?
So moved, Rotterman.
Second, Ryan. Okay. Trustee Muirhead?
I'd like to adjourn our meeting in memory of.
Okay.
Make her the motion says yes.
Second also agrees.
Okay. All in favor? Trustee Fairchild?
Yes.
Trustee Muirhead? Trustee Rotterman?
Yes.
Trustee Ryan?
Yes.
Trustee Watanabe?
Yes.
And I vote yes, that passes 6-0 with Trustee Canova being absent. Okay. Okay, now I have a motion from Trustee Rotterman and a second from Trustee Ryan to approve the agenda. Trustee Fairchild?
Yes.
Trustee Muirhead? Yeah. Well, I thought all we did was approve so you made a motion to. You made an amendment to the motion?
Made an amendment.
Oh, I thought you made a second.
Second.
I thought you made a second amendment. I mean, I thought you made a second motion to approve. Oh, okay. All right, never mind. Okay. Okay, y'all confuse me when you interrupt me. Okay. Public comment, Civility Policy Board Policy 1313. This policy is intended to promote mutual respect, civility, and orderly conduct among district employees, parents, and the public. This policy is not intended to deprive any person of his or her right to freedom of expression, but only to maintain, to the extent possible and reasonable, a safe, harassment-free workplace for our students and staff. In the interest of presenting district employees as positive role models to the children of this district, as well as the community, SCUSD encourages positive communication and discourages volatile, hostile, or aggressive actions. The district seeks public cooperation with this endeavor. The board understands that the First Amendment provides strong protection for speech. However, the board expects that all speech and expression will comport with norms of civil behavior on district grounds, in district facilities, during district activities or events, and in the use of district electronic and digital systems and platforms. So for public comment on closed session agenda items, I have one slip for item B4. Panam Wat.
Good evening, board members. My name is Panam Amberwat, you know that. I am a teacher at Peterson Middle School. I shouldn't even be here tonight. I should be at Peterson enjoying my students perform in Alice in Wonderland. But I received an email this morning at 8:20 informing me that this was my only opportunity to address the board regarding whether or not you would hear my appeal. So here I am. I want to be clear, it was never my intention to bring this matter to a public forum. However, after exhausting every available resource, I'm left with no other option. I have personally experienced and witnessed unprofessional behavior that I have been told is an isolated incident. It is not, and it has become an unacceptable pattern affecting multiple staff members. On August 15th, the third day of school, a school administrator stood at my doorway and spoke to me in a hostile, threatening manner in front of my students. It was demeaning and humiliating. This behavior was never addressed. A few weeks later, another colleague experienced the exact same treatment in front of her students. Unfortunately, it has continued and escalated to a staff meeting on February 11th, where that same administrator stood up and yelled at the entire staff. I followed the proper process. I filed a formal complaint. I participated in the investigation. Yet the process lacked transparency and fairness. Not all witnesses were interviewed, deadlines were missed, and my own complaint was turned against me without due process. That is retaliatory behavior. How can a staff member feel safe to stand up for themselves and their own students if this is what happens to them? I'm asking the board for the opportunity to present my full story with documentation in a formal hearing. I'm coming to you first in good faith before filing my complaint with the Public Employment Relations Board for retaliatory processes. I'm asking that you hear my appeal. Our staff deserves a safe, professional, and fairly administrated work environment. And to that date, that has been denied. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments for closed session? Are there any comments in the Zoom? Okay, so we'll close public comment on closed session. In closed session, the board will consider the following. B1, public employee appointment, Government Code Section 54957.6, management, principal, New Valley High School. B2, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, one case, student versus Santa Clara Unified School District, Office of Administrative Hearings, case number 2025110257, student name withheld to protect confidentiality, number 092525MM2. B3, public employee discipline dismissal release, Government Code Sections 54957 and 54954.5E. B4, consideration to hear appeal of findings of an investigation into a complaint against employees per SCUSD Board Policy 1312.1, Government Code Section 54957B1. B5, conference with labor negotiators, Government Code Sections 54957.6 and 54954F. Agency representatives, Damon Wright, Superintendent, Jose Gonzalez, Assistant Superintendent, Human Resources, and Mark Shield, Deputy Superintendent, Chief Business Official. Employee organizations, UTSC, CSEA, AFT, and unrepresented employees. B6, Public Employee Performance Evaluation, Government Code Section 54857, Agency Designated Representative, Bonnie Lieberman, Board President, Title, Superintendent. The board will resume open session at 7:30. Thank you. Okay, the board has returned from closed session. May I please have the introduction of our interpreter?
Good evening, board. Buenas tardes. Excuse me. Mi nombre es Angélica Benítez, mi compañera Catherine Hurdle y yo vamos a hacer las intérpretes en español de esta noche. Bienvenidos a la reunión de la mesa directiva. Esta reunión está siendo transmitida en el canal en español de Zoom. Para escuchar esta sesión en español, oprima el botón que dice interpretación en su pantalla y seleccione el lenguaje de español. En ese menú también podrá seleccionar la opción de silenciar el audio original en inglés. Thank you.
Thank you. Report from closed session. For item B1, the board received information. For item B2, a majority of the board in closed session voted to approve a compromise agreement in the Office of Administrative Hearings case number 2025110-257 to resolve educational claims raised against the district in exchange for funding not to exceed $79,750 for placement, compensatory education, reimbursement of parents' private educational services, and related attorney's fees incurred in this matter. Motion by Board Member Watanabe and seconded by Board Member Rotterman. The roll call vote passed by a vote of 6-0 with Trustee Canova absent. Vicky Fairchild voted yes. Bonnie Lieberman voted yes. Jody Muirhead, yes. Andy Rotterman, yes. Michelle Ryan, yes. And Kathy Watanabe, yes. Item B3, the board received information. Item B4, the board received information and gave direction. Item B5, the board received information. And item B6, the board received information. And now we will move to item D1, the recognition of the Stanford Research Practice Learning Partnership Steering Committee. Dr. Wright or Dr. Mr. Rico.
Mr. Rico.
Good evening, trustees, Ms. Burrell, our community. Tonight, it is my honor to present a recognition for the Stanford Research Practice Learning Partnership Steering Committee, who was recently awarded community. Since 2021, Stanford University's graduate as we enjoy our acronyms here, was recognized earlier this month with the Stanford Community Partnership Award for improving the outcomes for children with diverse learning needs. The award spotlights collaborations between the university community and local organizations to address the regional needs. Members of the RPLP Steering Committee are joining you tonight for a special recognition. And we have online tonight Dr. Knavel, Kathy Knavel from Santa Clara Unified. She's our Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services. She's listening in. She is with her brand new grandbaby in Arizona, but she's on Zoom with us tonight. And then I'd also like to, before we do recognize each individual member of the steering committee, we'll have the board come down to be on the floor and take a photo. We'll do our normal recognition of certificates. I'd like to invite Dr. Chris Lemons to the podium. I know you're sitting in the audience, but we'd love to have you just share a little bit more about the successes of the partnership and the significance of the recognition from Stanford. So welcome. Right here.
Cool.
Okay, hello. This is my first school board meeting ever, so thank y'all very much for having me here. So I just want to say to the crew that has supported the RPLP, first of all, I think all of you should stand up. Everybody who's been engaged with like Parapro, Cat Paws, CoPro. This is an amazing team from the leadership in the district. Y'all can sit back in. So part of this partnership is basically, at universities across the country, Stanford included, we work really hard as researchers to create evidence-based practices and make positive outcomes happen for kids. None of that matters without dedicated school staff members, amazing principals, amazing paraeducators, amazing teachers, and our work matters not at all without this group of dedicated people. And I can say I've been at many universities over time, and this Santa Clara partnership is one of my favorite things that has happened because these are some amazing human beings who really care the utmost level about the kids they work with. They give their heart and their soul to their jobs, and they give really critical feedback, which is important because without people who are willing to say, that's not how we should do it, or this is not going to work for us, we as researchers can't learn how to make sure that the stuff we're doing really fits in the real world. So y'all make our work better. I hope we make your work better. But I just want to again thank you so very much for being just every time that I go to one of the meetings, I feel like you are so positive and that you are like encouraging us to keep going and keep working hard. And so we're doing some amazing fun things. Board members, if you want to see some really fun stuff, we have a project running right now called Cat Paws, where we're teaching high school kids to tutor little kindergarten kids. And it is one of the most entertaining things I've ever seen in my life. But it's really amazing just to see both the high schoolers and the littles really shine and, get a chance to succeed and be successful. And so I think that's just one example of what we're doing. So thank you very much, for all of you in this room for supporting this partnership. I know sometimes when schools are like, oh, do we want to get engaged with the university? Is this really going to be beneficial for us? And I'm hoping that we're showing that this partnership is beneficial. And I really look forward to continue working and designing things that really fit for your district. And I just thank you all for letting us be in the district and for the support that you give back to our project to make sure that our work is having a positive impact for kids. So round of applause to these amazing humans. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. Are we taking a picture? That's pleasure.
Okay.
Okay.
And then you don't have to come back down because you're the first one. Our next, we're going to be presenting the certificates here on the floor. We're going to ask we'll call up each individual steering committee member, and we'll ask you to come up, receive your certificate, shake each of our trustees' hands and Dr. Wright's, but we'll have you stay here on the floor. We'll take one big group photo at the end. And it will take a bit because I think we have 7 of you here in the room. We also have our 7 trustees in the room. So bear with me, but we'll take photos. I will make sure that they're posted and shared around. But if other members of the paparazzi would like to join me on the floor, I'll be in that corner as well. Okay, and with that, we'll have the board members come down the floor. Dr. Wright, we'll have you stand here. And we're going to try to move this over a little bit after this so people aren't like, yeah. Okay. So our first recognition tonight will be a certificate of recognition for Dr. Chris Lemons. He is a professor at the Graduate School of Education, and he's our director of the Learning Differences Initiative. I hand this over to you, and then we'll have you just gonna go down the line. Dr. Wright, you're supposed to be right here. You're my co-pilot right here. You're handing out the certificates. Okay. And then we have Dr. Kathy Knavel, Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services. She's online. Congratulations, Kathy. Mark Bertrand, is our principal at Agnew. Nicole Henderson. Hello. Mr. Nelson Horry, principal at McDonald High School. Michael Petros, our educator trainer. And we have Dr. Nicole Tafoya, principal for Huerta Middle School. And Sandra Velasquez, our teacher on special assignment. Welcome. Okay. Okay, well, now we're going to take a group photo. And it was also shared that we have several teachers that are working with the steering committee to lead the work that are in the room. So I'd like to, I know Dr. Lemons had you stand up, but I'll have you stand up one more time to have the whole room recognize everyone that's here participating in the project. No, nobody. Stand to be recognized. There you go. Okay. Thank you. And thank you, Ms. Henderson, for sharing that with me. Thank you. Okay, and that concludes the recognition tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Rico. Okay, we'll move to our report from our superintendent, Dr. Wright.
All right, good evening. Since our last board meeting, we had an opportunity to evaluate our staffing needs for the 26-27 school year and made the following adjustments. We rescinded a CTE teaching position, 2 math teachers, I believe it's 3 PE teachers, a multiple subject teacher, 1 world language teacher, about a half-time biology teacher, and a 1.0 chemistry teacher. And with these recent adjustments, leads us to believe that all tenured teachers will remain whole next year, meaning there's no layoff of tenured teachers for the Santa Clara Unified School District. We are also still reviewing the enrollment shifts through the open enrollment program. As we mentioned in previous meetings, we have an interest in evaluating the 2-3 combos and reducing the amount of 2-3 combos projected for next year. So we'll have additional information to share in the very near future. I want to thank our students and teachers from Santa Clara High School for their voice. They've had a letter writing campaign that's been going through January through March, and I had an opportunity to review several written letters from our students. I really enjoy hearing your perspectives. I've read about the importance of co-teaching, advocacy for new courses such as personal finance, humanities, and STEM. I even heard opposition for the yonder cell phone policy, believe it or not. I haven't heard a lot. I expected to hear a lot more, not that I want to hear more, but a couple letters. Needs to upgrade restrooms, and even some frustration with special education programs moving from school site to school site each year. So they really engaged in some important dialogue, real events that are happening in our district, and I really appreciate reading those. And I just want to say to our students, your voices are heard. We'll consider your thoughts and opinion in a decision-making process. And I also want to invite you to additional opportunities to voice your opinion on Tuesday, April 7th from 5 to 6:30, and this is for students only. We are going over our strategic plan, and we're having an event for students so they can give input into that process. And then later that evening at 6:45, we'll have a general session for the community. So anyone's welcome to come to the 6:45 session. And again, it'll give you an opportunity to put your voice in regarding our strategic plan. With April on the horizon, I want to acknowledge some observances for the month of April. National Volunteer Month. Santa Clara Unified School District, we are so fortunate to have outstanding volunteers that support our students and our organization. We would not be the same without your support. So I just wanted to thank you for all that you do for our organization and students. National Poetry Month, calling all English teachers and students. We're looking forward to reading your work. Also maybe decorating our hallways with some outstanding poetry during the month of April. Also honoring our people and students with disabilities is Autism Acceptance Awareness Month, and it's also National Deaf History Month in April. April's also an opportunity to celebrate Diversity Month. It's Arab American Heritage Month as well as Scottish American Heritage Month. So just wanted to share that for the month of April, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Wright. We'll move now to our Student Senate report. Elias Rivera from Mission Early College High School.
Hello, I'm Elias Rivera. I am a student representative here to give a report on behalf of Mission Early College High School, or MIX for short. I'd like to start off with our mission statement, or for our school. Mission Early College High School is not just a program that allows students to attend high school and college at the same time, but teaches us how to be proactive, resilient, organized, united, and dynamic human beings in our society. Okay, starting off with some events we did since I was last here. November 7th of last year, we had a multilingual meetup. So students who were multilingual came in and taught other students how to speak their language, and they discussed differences and similarities, which is kind of surprising how some languages are very similar to each other and some of the differences. We had a PIA senior fundraiser. Some teachers volunteered for this, and students were paying were willing to pay a lot of money for to buy a teacher. I volunteered for it, and though it tasted good, it took a long time to get it out of my hair. Then we had a winter market on December 12th, where students were able to sell like open booths and sell like cool stuff that they make and food too, like cookies. And then December 18th, we had a candy cane grant, which is, students to give candy canes to each other. Then December 19th, we hosted a movie night where we watched Spider-Man movie. And then we had a Panda Express fundraiser, which is a collaboration we did with Panda, where people who buy a meal, the school gets 20% of the profits from every meal that's bought. Then for this year, we had a ASB Ultimate Dodgeball in a gym, and I didn't go sadly, but I heard it was pretty fun. Then we had Valentine Grounds on February 12th for Valentine's Day. Then we had something called Coin Wars, where it's sort of like a study hall class, but we call it Phoenix. Each Phoenix class will get a bowl, and we put money in it to donate towards freshmen so they could plan events. Then we had a merch art competition. Some students were able to submit their art designs for our school merch, like sweaters and shirts. That was the winner design. It's pretty cool. Then we had Pi Day. So students who attempt to remember 25 digits of pi will receive a slice of pie. I think the options were blueberry, cherry, and apple. I did not attempt that, but for St. Patrick's Day, we came in wearing green. Whoever came in word green received like gold chocolate coins. Some upcoming events we're planning. So far for April, we're doing Spirit Week. I mean, I'm pretty sure most of you are familiar how that works. Theme days throughout the week. April 17th, we will have a multicultural day. Basically, the last time we basically had booths, and people would wear their beautiful clothing and present like foods and different things about other cultures. And then May 26th, we are planning to do another ultimate dodgeball. Hopefully I'll be able to go to that one. So, thank you for your time. Are there any questions? Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you so much. Okay, we'll move now to our reports from union presidents. Ms. Alpin.
Good evening, trustees, Dr. Wright, Ms. Burrell. I keep hoping for a time when I can come before this board and share good news about what is happening in this district for classified staff. Unfortunately, tonight is not that night. Tonight is about work that has gone unrecognized and unpaid. It is about classified employees who have been doing critical work for the district, work that helps every single student in our district. Yet instead of being acknowledged, they were denied proper out-of-class compensation. These employees trusted their manager, their director, people who for years have talked about restructuring, reorganizing, and retitling. And yet here we are with nothing but empty promises. What makes this even worse is that when the district has already acknowledged that they were working out of class. HR said as much when certain duties had to be immediately removed from their workload. We were told nearly a year ago that this issue is being worked on, and that there would be an effort to resolve it. Instead, CSEA was strung along while this issue was delayed, pushed aside, kicked down the road until now, when the answer has simply become no. Throughout this process, I trusted that we were working with HR towards the same goal, doing right by these employees. But it is clear now that that was not the case. And what makes this even clearer is the lack of transparency and respect of how this has been handled. We asked Dr. Gonzalez to send the message directly to the affected employees, to put in writing that the district would not be honoring work it had already acknowledged. As of today, the communication still has not been sent. So not only are these employees being denied what they are owed, they are also being left in the dark while decisions about their work and compensation are being made without even the basic respect of direct communication. And this is not the first time I have believed I was working with the district only to be proven wrong. This is a painful lesson for CSEA and my members, because let's be honest, the district somehow finds money for raises at the top, for trips, for lunches, for consultants, and for other priorities. But when it comes to paying classified employees for work they have already done, suddenly there's nothing to offer, nothing. And at this point, after too many apologies that did not result in changed behavior, I fear I no longer trust the district or HR is operating with the best interests of classified employees in mind. And although I am focused on this issue tonight, this is not just about these employees. This speaks to a larger culture in the district and the way classified staff are treated. Take trainings, for example. Classified staffs are routinely not brought to the same table as our certificated colleagues because Ed Services says there's not enough space. Quite frankly, that's a ridiculous response and we are tired of hearing it. You have principals who believe classified staff should not be invited to tours of new school sites. One principal even sent that message out explicitly to certificated staff. Why is that okay? You have sites where classified employees are monitored on camera to track their times while others are not. That kind of selective oversight sends a very clear message. For classified staff in this district, it's hard to breathe. It's exhausting to work in a system where we are constantly reminded that we are viewed as less than, left out, not invited, or simply forgotten. And I continue to bring these serious issues to you. And this is not new. This has been a longstanding issue. And yet here, all we hear is we'll do better. But when it comes time to follow through, nothing happens. I just want to add one last piece. It was great to hear Dr. Wright rescinding some layoffs for certificated. We have yet to see that happen on classified. And so we'd love to see that. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Wysocki.
Good evening, President Lieberman, trustees, Dr. Wright, and Ms. Burrell. UTSC leadership would like to thank the district for beginning to rescind layoff notices and for agreeing with UTSC that SCUSD honors teacher permanency. As we continue the layoff and cut process, we request you stay true to your commitment that all means all. We ask you to make decisions through the lens of supporting our students and to unequivocally support our families, students, and sites who have historically been marginalized. Until May 15th, we will ask you to use these two lenses with every decision you make regarding cuts and layoffs. Will you be able to defend your decisions using those lenses? And if not, will that be grounds for reconsideration of your decisions? As we move into planning and restructuring our systems as a result of these cuts and layoffs, UTSC will continue to ask the district to use partnership and joint decision-making to authentically make these distressing decisions. Our current system has not yet seemed to have internalized the fact that we can draw upon the extensive experience of labor leaders to refine your approach to problem solving. When implemented with consistency, this will best serve and support all of our students. Your labor leaders strive to be strategic partners from the outset, ensuring we are used to guide the process before any directions or plans have actually been made. The most effective way to benefit our SUSD system is to integrate our input at inception, ensuring alignment from the first day. When you neglect to bring your leaders into decisions and plans at the beginning, district-wide mishaps like last week's PD happen. Last week, I was provided less than 24 hours to review the slide deck or give input. The clear message I received was, "This is what we've already done. What are your thoughts?" It was clear to me there was a lack of background information provided. As requested, I provided input. The slide deck was edited, but the final version was not shared. In fact, it still hasn't been. It was very clear a message needed to be shared with our staff. When I use the word staff, let me be clear. I'm talking about the teaching staff because this critical PD occurred on a day when most classified were not at work. By the end of the day, a letter of apology was sent district-wide. When there is no discussion about the purpose of a PD, the reason behind the PD, or address the why the information is time-sensitive, you lose your partner's expertise on how best to relay critical and difficult information to our educators. I am thankful that the apology letter was sent so quickly. Every miscalculation by district office staff, especially when they become weekly occurrences, erodes staff confidence in a district level decision-making. This leads to a climate of skepticism in every subsequent meeting. We've all been in this industry long enough to know that skepticism is a formidable obstacle for genuine collaboration. And yet, every time our leader stands before this community and apologizes for district missteps, he helps us build our trust in his leadership and commitment to the hard work. For me, it's refreshing to hear someone step into an authentic apology, and I sincerely appreciate he's willing to own the missteps of his staff. And yet they continue to happen. Let me state clearly, there is no point in partnering at the highest level of our organization if that same partnership is not felt throughout our system. If Dr. Wright and the union presidents, work in partnership, but it's not systemic, then we are simply three people who work well together. To move forward for our students, partnership needs to be deeply and widely honored, even if Dr. Wright, Ms. Alapin, and I are not physically in the room. We're approaching a crossroads, and more significant change is just around the corner. UTSC asked the district to clearly focus on our next steps so that we can get this right. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move now to public comment on unagendized items. We have Board Policy 1313, which is our civility policy. This policy is intended to promote mutual respect, civility, and orderly conduct among district employees, parents, and the public. This policy is not intended to deprive any person of his or her right to freedom of expression, but only to maintain, to the extent possible and reasonable, a safe, harassment-free workplace for our students and staff. In the interest of presenting district employees as positive role models to the children of this district, as well as the community, CUSD encourages positive communication and discourages volatile, hostile, or aggressive actions. The district seeks public cooperation with this endeavor. The board understands that the First Amendment provides strong protection for speech. However, the board expects that all speech and expression will comport with norms of civil behavior on district grounds, in district facilities, during district activities or events, and in the use of district electronic digital systems and platforms. So you'll come up to the podium. I'll call you up three at a time. You'll line up behind the podium. You press the button that says push above it, and the light around the bottom of the microphone will turn green. You can just leave it on, and then this way it'll just stay on for everyone. You'll have 2 minutes to speak. Trustee Watanabe is our timekeeper, and the timer is above her head. When the timer goes off, I'm gonna need you to stop so that we make sure everybody gets an equal 2 minutes. If you don't finish your comment, we ask that you please email it to the board so that we can see your entirety of your comment so that we can read it, and we all do read them. So please do that. So I will start with Kimberly Medeiros, Tanisha Borgstadt, and Zung Boy.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Kimberly Medeiros. I have taught 6th grade at Don Caljon for 9 years. For much of that time, our middle school felt like a ship that had been adrift. No steady captain, shifting crews, uncertain direction. Over the past 3 years, we finally have a hold of the helm. We have a passionate, qualified principal with deep integrity and a clear vision. We have a middle school team that believes in PLCs and vertical alignment and COI. We have a functioning PBIS and on-site wellness supports. We have everything going for us. We now have a crew that is rowing together towards a shared future. Don Calajon is unique. We're the only choice program on this side of Highway 101 and the district's only arts and design focused pathway. We provide continuity and long-term relationships. Families chose us because we offer design lab, visual art, yearbook, leadership, team sports, band, orchestra, and more, and because we're always looking for ways to support students academically in smaller settings. This is why our community voted to remain a K-8. Right now, the forecast is ominous. We have a wait list of 44 students, and we're allowed to accept only 8 in 6th grade. Many of those students live directly across the street, yet because our attendance boundaries are the smallest in the district, they have to apply through open enrollment. We also lose roughly 1/3 of our students every year to SLI in 7th grade. 20 students this year. The math is simple. We will not have enough students to sustain a middle school. The result will be a forced K-5, not because families want it, but because policy makes it inevitable. Worse, the district seems to be acting quickly without full consideration of long-term effects. When teachers are involuntarily moved, many apply for voluntary transfers year after year. That ripple will last far beyond this year, eroding relationships, continuity, personal investment of our staff, as well as any long-term change the district tries to enforce. Tonight, I ask you, please do not restrict enrollment in 6th grade to 2 classes at Don Calajon.
Good evening. My name is Tanisha Borgstadt. I'm a 7th grade teacher at Don Calajon Arts and Design School. I'm here to express my deep concern regarding the board's decision to limit open enrollment for incoming 6th grade students for the 26-27 school year. As a teacher at Don Calajon for the past 19 years, I've witnessed firsthand our ongoing efforts to define and strengthen our identity as a school. Less than 2 years ago, the board approved our transition to an arts and design school, a decision that required significant time, energy, and resources from both staff and the district. We embraced that direction fully and committed ourselves to building a program that would attract and retain students. In recent board meetings, I've heard repeated questions about what we are doing to promote our schools and increase enrollment. We answered that call. We implemented outreach efforts, including mailers promoting our arts and design program, and worked to showcase what makes our school unique. However, the current decision to limit enrollment directly contradicts those efforts, rendering them not only ineffective, but also a misuse of time and financial resources. Capping our incoming 6th grade class at 2 sections is not sustainable and places our program at serious risk. It sets us on a path toward declining enrollment that could ultimately lead to dismantling our middle school program. This year alone, we lost 20 6th grade students to the SLI program at Cabrillo. Despite being the smallest middle school, we experienced the greatest loss. Yet, instead of being supported in rebuilding, we are being further restricted. Beyond enrollment numbers, these decisions have a direct impact on student engagement and success. Middle school extracurricular programs such as sports, music, and robotics are critical motivators for students. They foster connection, confidence, and a sense of belonging. I've personally seen students thrive academically when they are connected to these programs. With reduced enrollment, we will no longer have the numbers necessary to sustain meaningful and competitive extracurricular opportunities, which will further diminish the student experience. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm here to talk about a matter that is not just a staffing issue, it's a student safety issue, a mental health issue, and ultimately a moral responsibility. For more than a decade, there has been a shortage of school psychologists across the United States. At the same time, 20% of adolescents experience major depressive disorder, yet fewer than half receive treatment they need, leaving schools to fill that gap. 1 in 10 high school students attempted suicide, and nearly 1 in 4 seriously considered it. Certain groups are even more vulnerable. Among the LGBTQ+ youth, 69% reported feeling persistently sad or hopeless, and 45% seriously considered suicide. These are not just statistics. They reflect the reality that we are living in our schools every day. We have seen increased aggression, dysregulation, bullying, and emotional needs amongst younger students in our schools. At the secondary level, chronic absenteeism has nearly doubled from 15 to 30%. Our campuses are more complex, more demanding, and more emotionally charged than ever before. For years, this district struggled to fill positions for school psychologists and relied on contractors. We finally built a stable and fully staffed team. That stability matters for students, families, and for staff. Reducing our FTE now puts that progress at risk. Given the shortage in the field, recruitment and retention is also extremely difficult. Even before the pandemic, up to 90% of school psychologists reported experiencing burnout. In recent years, there has been significant increase in our workload with assessments, paperwork, litigious work, and duties that were historically administrative work, reducing our time to deliver direct service to students and working with staff and family. These risks increasing caseload, delaying services and timeline for legal mandates, weakening prevention efforts, and ultimately impacting student well-being. Thank you.
Our next three speakers are Kieran Viraganta, Tammy Azevedo, and Melissa Lee.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kiran Viraganta. I'm the registrar at Peterson Middle School, and today I represent all the middle school registrars here. I stand before you once again, asking to step back and reconsider the decision that was made. The question remains the same, unanswered. Who will step up to do this work? Who will support our diverse families, building the bridge that the district prides itself on, and guide parents and students to the right resources and right people when they need the most of it? As registrars, we are the first handshake, the steady compass, and often the glue that holds everything together. Every day, we juggle complex operations behind the scenes, but more importantly, we listen, we guide, we connect. We don't just enroll students, we welcome families, walk alongside, and help them to find their footing in the new environment. Especially at the middle school level, where students and families are navigating a whole new world, we play a critical role. We help ease worry by showing parents how to stay involved. We bridge gaps, open doors, and ensure no one falls through the cracks. If this role disappears, it won't just leave gap, it will leave big shoes to fill. We are the link in the chain, and without it, the whole system feels the strain. Thank you for listening.
Good evening, board. I'm standing here before you tonight to ask once again that you reconsider the elimination of our middle school registrars. To understand why this cut is so damaging, you have to understand what a registrar actually does. Speaking for Peterson, our registrar Kieran, who just spoke, is the face of our school. She doesn't just file paperwork. She's the first person a new family meets. She bridges the gap for our community by translating, in Hindi, Telugu, Punjabi, and Tamil. Ironically, Santa Clara Unified School District doesn't even provide her a translation stipend because that's reserved for only Spanish speakers. Yet, she provides the essential services for free every single day. She coordinates schedules with counselors, manages cumulative files, and oversees grades and honor rolls. She's the engine that keeps our office running. We have to ask who will take over this work. If the labor is redistributed to the attendance clerk and the secretary, their contracts will need to be negotiated and their pay increased. If you have to pay 2 people more to do the work of 3, I ask you, where's the actual savings? Beyond the budget, there is an issue of safety, basic operations at Peterson. This cut, this cut leaves only 2 people in the front office. What happens when one of us is out? Do we close the office for lunch? What happens if both of us are sick? You aren't just cutting a line item, you're cutting the safety net of our school's daily operations. Please keep the registrar position and our middle schools. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Melissa Lee, and tonight I come to speak from the heart. Change only comes when a group of people feel so passionate to speak up. This has always happened in history. I want to tell you that I've been working for the district for 28 years. Thank you for that. I taught Trustee Canova's son, and I also worked with Vicki Fairchild at Hughes. And then an opportunity came when Don Calajan opened up here. We have all our staff here. And they said, we need help. And I love Hughes. I said, but I got to help, my talents, to help them do multicultural night, all those literacy nights. I came to Don Calajan. We were known as a technology school. So every school in our district is known for something special. And our school was known for that. But later on, when Agnew opened and the other schools, they had better technology, then we became an art and design school under Gary Waldell. He said, that would be a great thing that parents might want. So it was his advice, and then so we embraced it. And so I'm here to say that students should come first. The students of this year love the art and design philosophy, and now we're told that some of them need to leave next year and go back to their old schools. That is just heartbreaking. That makes students second, and that's not okay. I'm a child development major, and that's not okay, for their souls. And we're the cause of it. And last time in one of the meetings, Mark Shields said that the number in reserves, that's just a number, but we don't really have to save that much, So I was thinking, I love the way that you're resending a lot of pink slips. And I think we should resend more until we get to I would like to resend all of them really. But we have to remember that students are first, and we cannot forget that motto. Okay, and also I love the idea of parents having a choice, because that's equity and unity. And a lot of our teachers are also parents, and they have a choice of sending their kids to our school. Okay, thank you. And don't forget students first.
That was my final slip. Is there anyone else in the room that would like to make an agendized comment? Okay, so I'll close public comment in the room. Do we have any hands raised in the Zoom?
For members of the public attending our board meeting through the Zoom webinar platform, you can use the raise hand tool at the bottom of your screen to raise your hand. We will have a 2-minute timer on the screen to help you moderate your comments. After 2 minutes, we will have to move on to the next speaker to ensure equitable speaking time for those attending through our Zoom. I will call on speakers in the order that their hands were raised, and our first speaker is Katie Pedersen, and you should be prompted by the platform to unmute now.
Good evening, board. My name is Katie Peterson. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm a school psychologist within the district. I work at Heyman Elementary School, and I'm on the preschool assessment team. This year, we were told that the district was cutting 2 psychologists from our team for next year. How we are going to meet the needs of our students with 2 less psychologists while simultaneously being told that we are going to be expected to actually do even more next year is beyond me. One way that school psychologists have historically helped close the gap in supporting student need on campus is by volunteering to supervise school psychology graduate students. Typical school psychology graduate programs require an approximately 600-hour practicum during their second year and a 1,200-hour internship during their third year. This opportunity is mutually beneficial. Practicum students and interns gain the required field experience to enter the profession, while our school psychologists gain increased capacity to complete assessments, consult with staff, and support students. This allows us to reach more students. The important thing to understand is that practicum students are unpaid, and the supervision provided by psychologists is also unpaid. There is no cost to the district. In fact, supervising school psychologists actively seek out practicum students because they provide meaningful support to school sites under appropriate supervision. As co-lead school psychologists, I help our school team connect psychologists with students who reach out to our district seeking these practicum opportunities. We recently had the opportunity to develop a memorandum of understanding with a new university, Fresno Pacific University. However, after connecting their program with our program director with our staff, we were told that this MOU was denied because the district was requesting compensation for our staff. I want to be clear that this compensation for supervision is not expected or typical. And I worry that in an effort to maintain these right-sizing efforts, you are limiting the ability for our school psychologists to do what we can to support our schools. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Our next speaker is Kamala Prias Selvaraj.
Good evening, board members. My name is Kamala Priya Selvaraj. I'm the registrar at Wortha Middle School. I would like to ask you to picture a typical morning at a middle school, 8 a.m. tomorrow, after the registrar position has been eliminated. A student arrives without a record, and someone must urgently contact the previous school so that the student can be placed correctly. A parent brings in a custody document that must be entered immediately to ensure a student's safety. Another district requests official transcript that must be verified and sent. A counselor needs help correcting the student's record that could impact grades and scheduling. These are not a rare situation. This is everyday work. None of it is handled by centralized enrollment center. So the question becomes, who will take on this responsibility every single day? The work will not disappear. It will shift to counselors, administrators, and office staff who are already managing a full workload. Over time, delays will increase, error will happen, and the level of support for students and families will decline. And eventually, the district will feel the loss. Because when critical work is removed but not replaced, the system does not become more efficient, it becomes strained. I also want to speak to the impact on people. Eliminating all 5 registrar positions saves less than 400K, but the human cost is far greater. Staff will be forced into a part-time roles, losing income, potential losing health benefits that the families depends on. Through bumping rights, this decision will not only affect register, it can be displaced multiple employees and causes other loss to the jobs. So while the financial savings are limited, the impact spread across staff, students, and family. I truly believe that over time, the district will realize the loss of this role because the need for this work does not go away. I respectfully ask the board to reconsider this decision before those impacts are felt across our school. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. President Lieberman, that was the last one.
Thank you, Mr. Rico. Okay, we'll move on now to consent items, human resources, H1. I get a motion to approve.
Motion to approve, Rotterman.
It popped up after I told you there was no more. Do you want to take it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. There is one additional comment in the Zoom. Claire, you should be prompted to unmute.
Hi, thank you so much. Hi, thank you so much for letting me call in. I was just wondering if you guys were going to communicate with the public about the apology that went out and what was said and why it needed to be said. I think that kind of transparency with the community would really be beneficial. Especially, we want to make sure we're like connecting with families, collaborating with the community. So I think keeping them in the loop about these issues that come up would be really helpful because it's definitely, as an educator, like sometimes when I don't know, that's how things get spun. So I think a clarity around these apologies or these missteps would be really beneficial to the community. So thank you for being transparent with them.
President Lieberman, could, we can't comment, but could the superintendent? Or would you prefer to do it at a different time?
I think we'll do it at a different time.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That was the final comment.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll close public comment now. Okay, I have a motion from Trustee Rotterman on consent item H1. Can I get a second, please?
Second, Watanabe.
Thank you. Trustee Fairchild?
Yes.
Trustee Muirhead? Trustee Rotterman?
Yes.
Trustee Ryan?
Yes.
Trustee Watanabe?
Yes.
And I vote yes, that passes 6-0 with Trustee Canova being absent. Items I1 and 2 consent, I'm sorry. Items I1 to I26.
Second.
Trustee Fairchild?
Yes, and could you remind the other trustees to turn on their mics so I can hear them speaking?
Yes, please turn on your mic. Thank you. Trustee Muirhead? Trustee Rotterman?
Yes.
Trustee Ryan?
Yes.
Trustee Watanabe?
Yes.
And I vote yes, that passes 6-0 with Trustee Canova being absent. Item J1, Resolution 2618 affirming April 6th through the 12th, 2026 as Adult Education Week.
Motion to approve, Rotterman.
Second, Ryan.
Trustee Fairchild?
Yes.
Thank you. Trustee Muirhead? Trustee Rotterman?
Yes.
Trustee Ryan?
Yes.
Trustee Watanabe?
Yes.
And I vote yes, that passes 6-0 with Trustee Canova being absent. J2, Resolution number 2619 affirming April 28th, 2026 as School Bus Driver Appreciation Day.
Second, Rotterman.
Trustee Fairchild?
Yes.
Trustee Muirhead?
Yes.
Trustee Rotterman?
Yes.
Trustee Ryan?
Yes.
Trustee Watanabe? And I vote yes, that passes 6-0 with Trustee Canova being absent. Item J3, Resolution number 2620 affirming April 28th through May 4th, 2026 as Workforce Readiness Week.
Motion to approve, Rotterman.
Trustee Fairchild?
No smoking anytime before this or precedent. Yes. Laboratories, federal law does run.
Trustee Muirhead?
Yes.
Trustee Rotterman?
Yes.
Trustee Ryan?
Yes.
Trustee Watanabe?
Yes.
Trustee Lee, that's me, yes. I'm in autopilot. That passes 6-0 with Trustee Canova being absent. Item K1, appointment of a New Valley High School principal.
Motion to approve, Rotterman.
Second, Ryan.
Dr. Gonzalez.
Good evening, board members, Dr. Wright, and Mrs. Burrell. I am pleased to announce the appointment of the new principal for New Valley High School, Kelly Quayle. Kelly is a dedicated educator whose career is defined by her commitment to historical underserved students and the integration of academic rigor with relational belonging. Her extensive background spans supporting students with disabilities in Hawaii to teaching humanities, reading intervention in Oakland and the Greater Bay Area, including work with adult learners at Five Keys Charter School. During her 8-year tenure as a district TOSA for SAUSD, she co-developed the SAGE intervention program and led systemic equity initiatives such as the EPIC team in collaboration with the National Equity Project. Kelly also served as a high school summer school vice principal, where she demonstrated her ability to transform school climate through asset-based motivational systems.
Thank you. Okay, I have a motion from Trustee Rotterman and a second from Trustee Ryan. Trustee Fairchild? Trustee Fairchild?
Yes.
Trustee
Yes.
Muirhead?
Yes.
Trustee Rotterman?
Yes.
Trustee Ryan?
Yes.
Trustee Watanabe?
Yes.
And I vote yes, that passes 6-0 with Trustee Canova being absent. Item L1, Resolution number 2616 for change order number 1 to Guerra Construction Group for retaining wall concrete revisions for Briarwood Elementary School Modernization Project.
Motion to approve, Rotterman.
Trustee Fairchild?
Yes.
Trustee Muirhead? Yes. Trustee Rotterman?
Yes.
Trustee Ryan?
Yes.
Trustee Watanabe?
Yes.
And I vote yes, that passes 6-0 with Trustee Canova being absent. Action item L2, resolution number 2621, authorizing procedures and guidelines for selection of leaseback contractor.
Motion to approve, Rotterman.
Thank you. Trustee Fairchild?
Yes.
Trustee Muirhead?
Yes.
Trustee Rotterman?
Yes.
Trustee Ryan?
Yes.
Trustee Watanabe?
Yes.
And I vote yes. That passes 6-0 with Trustee Canova being absent. Item M1, discussion proposed middle school DLI curriculum for dual language immersion program. Do we have any questions or comments on this? It will come back one more time. Nope. Okay.
I just wanted to say thank you for putting that together. The staff for doing it. There's a lot of work went into that. And it's an exciting possibility, so.
Does Dr. Knable have anything that she wanted to say on this item or? No? Okay. Enjoy your grandbaby, Dr. Knable. Okay, this will come back again. Okay, items from the board. Wow.
Oh
It's
my
only
gosh.
8:30. This feels weird. Trustee Rotterman.
You did it so fast, I'm not even ready, but I did have today, Rachel Schmidt, from the Santa Clara City Library come in and speak to one of my groups about the STEM zone. And what they're doing with that is really pretty amazing. It's going to now be out at the convention center. They have an astronaut that's speaking along with 5 or 6 other very high profile individuals. It's designed for family, it's designed for students. And again, STEM education, that type of thing. So I would like to see if we couldn't make sure that we get the information about that out to our students so they have an opportunity to participate. That's it.
Thank you. Trustee Muirhead?
Yeah, I'm not ready yet either. It's too early. I attended the site tour at the new Laurelwood site at Patrick Henry, and super exciting to see the progress that they're making on the construction and just the rooms so far, even without anything in them. Amazing. And the county school boards meeting last night, I was there with Trustee Watanabe, and I was involved in nominations for that group, so we'll have a new president and officers next year, so that's good. And attended a webinar about the state fiscal situation for next year. So that was interesting, and I don't know, probably some other things.
Okay. Trustee Watanabe.
Thank you, President Lieberman. So yes, as Trustee Muirhead just stated, I was also at that meeting last night, the School Board Association meeting. And another part of the discussion last night had to do with housing and the importance of student housing and how the county is continuing to work together to make sure that there is adequate housing, for all levels, especially the underserved. And it reminded me of a project that the city of Santa Clara approved about 2 years ago. The Lawrence Benton, there's a location over there. The land actually belongs to the county, but it was actually very supported. The project was supported by a lot of teachers, because Pomeroy is very close to the property, and as well as Santa Clara High School. So it's still I guess there's some funding that needs to be resolved, but at the same time, the Hillary, who was presenting last night, was very excited in saying that there had just been recent discussions about the project, and I see some looks on your faces over there. They're like, "What are you talking about?" But I'm happy to talk to you about it later. And anyway, these are the kinds of projects that give underserved families the ability to have it's not permanent housing, it's interim housing, but at the same time it still gives families homes. It's going to be family oriented housing, and to make sure that these students have a place to live, and more importantly to be able to go to school. The other thing I was just going to add was I went to the multicultural event at Cabrillo Middle School yesterday, and oh my goodness, there were just so many countries represented. It was very, very multicultural, and the best part about it was there was an assortment of foods from all the different countries that made me understand why there were so many middle schoolers lined up to go into the event. So well done, Cabrillo Middle School, and I understand it's something that they do every year. So good work. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Trustee Ryan?
We had a policy committee meeting yesterday. My first I'm not sure if I've been on the policy committee before, but first in certainly a long while. We got through a lot of policies, but not all of them. So we're going to be meeting back again. And then I guess we got a whole new dump of policies. So policy fun will continue for the next several months. I also attended the construction tour, the tour of the construction at the Laurelwood campus. It was fascinating to see kind of where we are. It's a little hard to believe there are going to be students there attending classes in 5 months. I was just even worried about cleaning up the dust, but Larry Adams assured me that it will all be done. And the cleanup is faster than you would think, but there was a lot of dust from my perspective. So, but I can't wait to see it in like less than 5 months, I think, at this point. And then we also went on, thank you to Ms. Meltzer, who took us on a tour, a site visit, two other trustees and I, on a site of the current Laurelwood campus. So we got to see where they are now, how they're starting to pack up a little bit as they finish with things so that they can be ready to move into their new facility as quickly as possible. I had to leave early for the last meeting, so I didn't get to report about going to the PTA dinner, which was wonderful, and got to see the awards handed out for the service awards. And because I did leave early for my dad's 90th birthday, I just wanted to say it was a lovely time getting all our family together from across the country. So he was a little surprised by some things, and that was really nice to have that time. So thank you.
Okay, Trustee Fairchild is having audio issues. So she asked me to report that she enjoyed going to the post-secondary Special Olympics and to the Cabrillo Multicultural Fair, and that she anticipates being fully in person back with us starting April 1st. Okay, and then I will be very fast. I also went on the Laurelwood tour at the current Laurelwood. So thank you, Ms. Meltzer and Mr. Fuller and Ms. Adler and all the teachers that were gracious enough to allow us to come in and see their classrooms. And I also was on the new Laurelwood site tour, which is just, I drive by it every day. So to actually get on the campus and see it and stand in the buildings is just amazing. So it's really exciting to see it coming along. And today I was at Elementary Lit, where they talked a lot about writing assessments and just really great conversations. I love going to that meeting because the conversations are rich and there's a lot of honesty in there, and it's a great group of educators, so it's great to go to that meeting. I was also at the System of Support meeting, which is also great work that's happening there, and I got to experience Michelle's, Trustee Ryan's first policy committee meeting, and you did a fabulous job as the chair. And so with that, we can get a motion to adjourn.
I wanted to adjourn.
In memory.
Okay.
I have a few.
Sure.
Bob Owens, he was 90 years old and he just passed away. He attended Santa Clara University, earning a degree in civil engineering, and later got his law degree there. He served in the U.S. Army before starting his legal career in the Santa Clara County Counsel's Office, where he worked for 20 years, including time supporting Santa Clara Unified with legal issues, which is why I wanted to mention him tonight. He later was elected to the West Valley Mission Community College Board and served there for 20 years.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn, Rotterman.
Second, Ryan.
Trustee Fairchild?
Yes.
Okay. Trustee Muirhead.
Yes.
We got you, Trustee Fairchild. Thank you. Trustee Rotterman.
Yes.
Trustee Ryan.
Yes.
Trustee Watanabe.
Yes.
And I vote yes. We are adjourned at 8:45.
Oh,
I don't know what y'all are going to do with yourselves, but